Hello fellow citizens, my name is Tony, this is the 15-minute gaming channel, and it is Thursday, which can only mean one thing: it's time for Inside Star Citizen. This one had kind of a last feel to it, as in the last one of the year, but he said he'll be back next week, so maybe not. However, there's lots of information in the sprint report here, so there's a lot to go through. However, in the main section, we're talking about the new ship, which will be in 3.12, which is the Talon. Lots of information about the Talon here. To be fair, I think it's probably one of the best looking ships in the game. I think it looks incredible. I can't wait to see it. So basically, it started off by saying Chris wanted to go full bird with this one. And you know, when you look at it, it look like a hawk or something along them lines. There's two variants, basically both fighters in both lights, so they're there to compete with the Arrow and the Gladius, and they go over agility over anything else. So, you know, the shields aren't going to be as strong, the hull's not going to be strong. They're there to get in, fight, and go. The Shrike is one of the variants, and that has great missiles, but not the best guns. And then the Talon has it the other way around. Not the best missiles, but better guns. So you've got your two different play styles there. If you want to be a long-range hit with your missiles, you get the Shrike. If you want to be, you know, up close and personal with your guns, get the other one. They're about £96 or $100 odd. Not that expensive. I know people always go, still £100 for a ship, that's quite expensive. But in the world of Star Citizen, it's just a little bit more than the Arrow and Gladius. And with the alien ship tax, it's what you'd expect. So first up, we'll see the way you get into the ship. I love it. The whole cockpit rises up. Your chair comes out all the way to get you. So yeah, you didn't have to move the chairs. Like, I'll come to you. Get in the chair, go in, and then you have this enclosed space, and they described it like in a nest, so to say. And then all the screens come on, and I think that looks incredible. One bit of bad news: the whole point of this was supposed to have a really unique ejection system where the whole front of the ship came off. That is not going to be in here yet. What's going to happen is it will follow you out, but you'll actually get ejected out of the pod. So the full ejection isn't in it yet, so it won't be working. Didn't say when that's coming in. Who knows? They've got new technology with all new shaders to show shimmer when you look at it. So you can see it's like, I can't remember what the word they used. It was quite a long word, but yeah, you can see the way it shimmers, shines, and kind of changes color as you look around. It's going to look awesome. And one of the main things we're excited about is just gives more choice in the light fighter, because we only have the Arrow and Gladius. They don't look too similar, but you know, very similar style. This will just give you that extra something different, and against all the other alien ships looks great. And it will be in 3.12, but there's no update of how much it'll cost out of game, in game. Out of game, I said it's about £90 odd. In game, no idea. The Arrow's about 700,000, I think, maybe up to 1 million. So I don't think it'll be too expensive. The sprint report was a long one. So first off, we had a look at two new weapons that are coming, which is the FS9 LMG and the A03 sniper rifle. So the LMG is made to be a bit smaller. It's got a realistic muzzle flash on it as well. And it's for spray and pray gunplay. You know, that's what it's going to be good at. Just going into the room, spraying everyone and walking back out again. The A03 sniper rifle is the smallest caliber rifle in the game as of 3.12. They said it will need some adjustments, so they're working on that at the moment. They didn't say what sort of adjustments, just that it's going to need some. And then we had a look at one of the coolest weapons I've seen in this game, which is the weapon concept team have been looking at the Ultraflex Crossbow. Doesn't that thing look awesome? So it's going to have smart arrows, so they come in like a little container. Then when you put them in and it loads it, they're going to go like expand out. When I heard the word smart arrows, I was like, oh, does that mean you can have one that's like explosive or fire? That would be really cool. So I hope that comes into it. That would be really good. Moving on from weapons, we then had a look at the new Gladius test bed. So they do a lot of things on the Gladius, like it had a weapons rack before, a lot of them, you know, just a bit of a test. Has new hoods, that sort of thing. And they showed that it had the component pass. This is where they add all the important items that you've seen in a lot of the newer ships that you can access, like jump drives and shields. So this needs to be accessed by the player and also usable by the deck crews in Squadron 42. So that was interesting to see how that's all going to work inside the Gladius. Then we got the white box stage of the Redeemer. I have a Redeemer. I can't wait for it in game. It's been a long way off. So white box is the first kind of look. It's a long way off by looks of it. It'll then go to like a grey box, then a polishing pass, and then art pass, and then SFX. So it's a long way off. But it was nice to see some images of that. Next up, we have a look at Fds Shields, which is a new shield tech they want to bring in. It's a work in progress. They didn't even mention it's even close. And basically looking at testing at wear effects when firing at larger ships, because you can see it a bit better. So you can get more visual guidance of where you're hitting, how it's going. Because I see a lot of times when you shoot ships at the moment, like, you can literally shoot at the front and like half of it expands into a shield, so you never quite know where you're hitting. So from a distance, it should give a lot more visual contact of where you're hitting and how you're doing with them shields. And I think it looks kind of cool, and it looks a lot more like you would expect to see on sci-fi, you know, if you're looking at Star Trek or something, where you're hitting on them shields. We then went to environmental news. So we've had a lot of polish passes for the upcoming 3.12, so they've, you know, done a lot of work on height map adjustments, shaders, and bringing a lot of the planets in line with each other with all the extra stuff they're bringing in. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the planets are going to look. I've seen some new cloud tech and the way that's working. Looks incredible. The planet team is also working on ocean buoyancy. Bearing in mind it's just work in progress, which could mean you could have submerged vessels to go and find. Now, I did see people talking about this. Would this mean we could have submarines in the game? Could do. That would be very interesting. Imagine getting your ship and opening the cargo bay and dropping your little submarine in. There could be derelicts in the ocean, and this will add new challenges to traversal and gameplay. I'm for one, quite excited for that. Next up is touch bending. So this is working on things like grass. So when you walk through the grass, it bends out the way it moves. And eventually they want to make it so it leaves trails, so you can track players if there's a bounty, or you could track the animals they want to put in if you want to do some hunting. But they need to work it so like it bends quickly and slowly and realistically, but then comes back up. Like, it won't always stay flat. It will come back up, but they're working on all that sort of thing at the moment. Lots of improvements since the last one on there. And finally, Colonial Homesteads is having more work done, so you can see it's in a more white box stage. I think last time we just saw the outside. The team is exploring it and having a look at things like storm shutters, because if it's on pyro, it's going to need them. Vertical options, so you can get the roof spaces and on roof for extra gameplay. It's not in production yet. It's not very far forward. They're just looking at some of the ideas and layouts they might want to play with. And again, I'm really excited for these. These will bring the planets really to life. And instead of just having your little like buildings where you got, you know, on the planet's surface where you've got your mines and that sort of thing, it'll be nice to see people actually living there, people moving around, AI. That's where I want Star Citizen to be, and it looks like we are getting there. And that's kind of it. As I said, it had a very final feel to it, but it's not. He said he'd be back next week, so we'll see what they come back with next week. If you want to discuss it, put in the comments. If you want to give me a shout, subscribe, of course, anything like that. And I'll be back more next week, hopefully with news about the PTU. Could be tomorrow by the looks of it. So yeah, follow me back, and I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.